guys, it's Taylor, and welcome to Top 5 Wednesday. This tag was created by Lainey over at Ginger Reads Lainey, however it is now run by Sam over at Thoughts on Tomes. I will leave the link to the Goodreads page down in the description below. So today's topic is Top 5 Most Unlikable Characters. And by that, it's not supposed to be villains, but characters that you are supposed to like that you are not a fan of. So, let's get started. I'm gonna get so much hate today in this tag. Let's start with one that I'm pretty sure will get me a lot of hate, and that is Louisa Clark from Me Before You. It's not that she is per se an unlikable character. When I started the book, I actually did like her well enough. However, the movie came out, and Emilia Clarke and the writers of the film, as well as the director, and I don't know the name, but maybe I'll put it down here, or we'll see. But they wrote Louisa so much better in the film, and I think a lot of it has to do with what the book did on Louisa's past and how the film chose to omit certain parts, because I just didn't like how her past seemed to be defined by the actions of men, and her future depended on the action of Will Traynor helping her through those actions caused by men. Whereas in the film, Louisa is very much her own person. While she is very much put upon by her family and by her boyfriend, and while she is mistreated and a little insecure, there was much more charm to her in the film than there was in the book. In the book, she just came off as awkward and a bit annoying, and honestly kind of pathetic. And I know that's the point, but once you see something done so almost perfectly in a film, and then you go back to the book and you realize, I'm tired. I'm so tired of these insecure characters with no self-worth until a hot rich man comes and gives it to them. And I feel like that was the biggest flaw in this book for me, which while I liked, it didn't live up to the hype for me. Okay, so the next one I don't think I'm going to get as much hate for, but we'll see. And that is Dr. Erland from the Lunar Chronicles, specifically Cinder. And I haven't read the rest of the series yet, so we'll see where his character arc goes. But as of now, I feel like he never quite made up for the awful, awful experiments on cyborgs that he conducted. I know part of it was to find or do what happened in the book, to find someone, but still, you never really see him atone or feel sorry for what he'd done. He honestly seems very manipulative and almost sociopathic, and when the book later on tries to paint him in an innocent or misunderstood light, I couldn't really jive with it. I couldn't get with this sympathetic Dr. Erland. It would be great if he was more morally gray and not just, I'm on the good guy's side and I did this thing. I don't know. Maybe when I see that he's sorry for the actions that he did, maybe I'll warm up to him. But for now, be prepared to hate me. Growin from the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. It's not that I completely dislike him. He's just, I never really understood the hype around him. He's not an awful, awful character. Maybe it's not that I dislike him, it's more that he's just so overhyped that I got so excited when I read Air of Fire and Queen of Shadows, and he really didn't do anything for me. He seemed angry and depressing, and he really brought a downer on the book every time he was in it. I didn't particularly care for his and Erland's relationship. I preferred it as a friendship, and so then when he came in and with his love god aura, I kind of soured to him a bit. And I don't hate him, and I can read a book with him in it, but I'd much rather follow Selena herself, Dorian, or Aedion, or Lysandra, or Manon, who I think are far more compelling characters than Rowan is. And my next character, be prepared to hate me, is James Potter from Harry Potter. And this more correlates to the Marauders verse Harry Potter. It always really kind of disturbs me whenever people say they want a Marauder story and act like they're going to get some fun, crazy, young boy adventure, because if you go back and you read Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the Marauders were awful. Even Lupin, who was who still bullied, but to a much lesser extent. It was more like he sat on the sidelines and let it happen. They're just not good people in the Marauders verse. They pick on, and don't get me wrong, we can have our talk about Snape, who, while he is one of my all-time favorite characters ever, I'm not going to go ahead and condone what Snape did. I just find Snape much more compelling and interesting and complex than James Potter is. And I think my problem with that is people always act like James Potter and the Marauders were good people. They were fun little scamps, and I've heard the term boys will be boys over and over and over again when trying to justify how the Marauders picked on Snape when he was unarmed, not doing anything to provoke them. He was just sitting around. And when asked, they just kind of shrug and say, well, it's more the fact that he exists. That's not cute. It's not funny. It's not boyish. Everyone should know, and especially James Potter, who was 15, 16 at the time when we see Harry go back into the pensive. We see that, he is very much old enough to make his own decisions and to know what is right and what is wrong. And what he is doing when he was a Marauder was wrong. And my final one, be prepared to hate me again, is Sirius Black from the Harry Potter series. This one it's basically the same argument as James Potter. The fact that people glorify them as Marauders and kind of turning a blind eye to all of the terrible things he did as a child. Picking on people who were unarmed and not bothering them, saying it's because they exist, torturing people, and yeah, I can't get with Sirius Black. Even the way he treats his house elf, which, while I know Kreacher is not a likable character, he is still a slave and is loyal only to those who are kind to him. Sirius is not kind to Kreacher. One of my favorite quotes is, look at how a man treats his inferiors rather than his equals. That's how you know how a true man is. Or that's how you know what the true character of someone is. How they treat those that they don't answer to or are not on equal footing with. He treats Kreacher like dirt, and that is, to an extent, almost who the real Sirius is. And that's not to say he's all bad. He definitely has great moments to him, and I do really enjoy his relationship with Harry, but he's a bully.